This is TJ with TechMadeEZ. Welcome to my channel. My channel is all about making things affordable, practical, and easy. And what we're going to talk about today is I do a lot of video ripping with MKV. I still buy DVDs and Blu-rays mostly online, eBay, so on and so forth. And so what happened was everything was fine about a week ago. Went out of town, came back, and I went to go rip some DVDs or a couple of Blu-rays. Went into my directory on my server, and I could not find those files anywhere. So I thought, did I not rip those? So I went to rip them again, and it said the file existed on the server. Do you want to overwrite it? But I can't view the file on the server. And so I even SSH into TrueNAS. So I'm having this problem with TrueNAS and my Linux Mint desktop. Now I'm assuming this isn't just a Linux Mint issue. But I had to figure out why this wasn't working. Could not figure it out for the life of me, and I couldn't even find the file going directly to TrueNAS to find it that way through the command line. And if anybody knows how to show files that are like that, it's not a hidden file or anything like that. It just doesn't exist. Well, it exists because when I go to rip it again, it says it's there, but I can't view it. So obviously I kind of figured that it's probably some type of permission problem, but why now? I've been using MKV for 10 years, first on Windows, then on Linux, and so I never ran into this problem until this week, so which is January 2025. So after some research and some thinking, I figured out what the permission problem was. So let's take a look. It's pretty easy to solve if you're having this problem. Now again, I'm using TrueNAS scale and I'm using MKV with Linux. I don't think you'd have this problem with Windows because it doesn't change permissions like that. Again, I'm not saying it's a Linux Mint issue. I think it's more of an MKV permission issue, and you'll see how I solve that problem on the desktop. Now you may have the same problem. It may not just be a problem with TrueNAS. It might be a problem with any server because it is a permission issue. So let's go ahead and hop on the desktop, and I'll show you everything you need to do to fix the problem. It's really easy, super easy. It's all GUI. You don't have to go to the command line or anything. Alright, so here I am on my Linux Mint desktop, but let me just show you what we're going to be doing here for a minute. So on my server over here is called HopeNAS. I'm in my HopeNAS server right here. I have a temporary directory here, and I created this RIP folder. Now on my server, I rip everything to a RIP folder. This is just a temporary one to show you for this demonstration. So that's where the file is going to go, and we're going to rip it to here, and we won't be able to see it. Now, the way you solve this problem is one of the things I've known about for a long time with Flatpaks is that it can have permission problems down the road at some point, depending on the application, what you're doing. And the way that is solved is through a program called FlatSeal. And I assume most Linux people know about FlatSeal, but FlatSeal is a way for you to manage permissions and some other features of your Flatpak applications. So I just went ahead and went into the Linux Mint software manager, and there was FlatSeal. I'm assuming today, because Flatpaks are so popular, that FlatSeal will probably be in your store manager, but if it's not, then you'll have to go out to the internet, find out what the command line is to install that, and so that you can run it. So basically what ends up happening here is it'll show you all your Flatpaks. Now this computer here is I only use this computer for ripping, believe it or not, my Blu-rays. It's a little mini PC, and I have a little portable Blu-ray drive hooked to it, and so that way I can just rip there and use my desktop. I can use my desktop too. I actually rip from a desktop and a little mini PC. It depends on what I'm doing and how many disks I have to rip. But at any rate, all of your Flatpak applications will show up in here. Here's MakeMKV, and the default in here when we're in here is these are the default set right here. And now I was playing around. I didn't think these would make any difference. They didn't, but I just turned them on anyway. Let's go ahead and rip a small movie from a DVD, and then I'll show you that I can't see it on my server, and I'll show you which one of these toggles that you click on in order for the permissions to change where you can see a ripped movie on your server. Now, again, you don't have this problem on your personal desktop, so that's the whole thing. If I ripped on my desktop, no problem, it would show up. It's only when I rip to the server where I have this issue. So let's just go ahead and rip a small video file, and I'll show you what I mean, what happens. Here's MKV right here. I've got Fall Guy, and I'm just copying off a smaller movie here, or a portion of the movie. And then on my server is called Hulk NAS right here. I've created a temp directory and then a rip directory. I rip everything to a rip directory on my server. So let me show you what will happen here when I go to rip this. And it's going to say that directory doesn't exist. You want to create it? Yes. And so just like MKV does, it creates that directory and then it writes that file out. So let's take a look at the file as soon as this thing's done. It'll just take a sec, and we'll go look at that directory. Okay, so that's done. Let's go to our rip directory, and I can even refresh it. Nothing's there. But if I go back to here and I want to do this again, now it's going to say, hey, this Fall Guy file already exists. Do you want to overwrite it? You hit yes, and it still won't be there. So what we need to do at this point is we need to close MakeMKV. And what program you need is you need Flatpak's companion application called FlatSeal, because what it is they must have updated MKV or an update in Linux Mint or Linux itself, that for some reason it just isn't showing your ripped files. So you got to give it permission to do that. So what we're going to do is, and here's my folder, nothing there. So what we're going to do here is we're going to go to FlatSeal and click on MakeMKV, and then the defaults were these here, and then I saw these here. You know, these don't matter. I just clicked them on, but these aren't normally on, and so I don't even, GPU acceleration, virtualization, whatever. If I was running in a virtual machine, that's probably what these are for. But what you do is you go down to File System, and this very first one, tick that on. Now let's open up MKV. Okay, so MKV has loaded up this Blu-Ray, the Fall Guy Blu-Ray. I'm going ahead and do the same file that I did before. I'm calling this test1 though. And so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and hit, and of course test1 directory doesn't exist, so we're going to hit yes, and then we'll go in there. In fact, we can go ahead and look at the directory right now, and you're going to see the folder is right there. So I don't know. Anyway, I don't know how the permissions got. I can't tell you the logic behind all this, and I can't even tell you if I can even find those files. But again, they're there because when MKV goes to rip it, it's there. So now if you delete the directory, that file will be gone because you've deleted it, even though you can't see it in there. So that's finished. So now if we go to our folder, there's our file right there, and so that's how I figured out how to get this to work. I did Google this, and people were having this challenge, and I don't know if they were having this challenge years ago, because I've never had this problem until now. Now this is one thing about MKV, as far as I know, it's only offered in a Flatpak. It might be offered in a snap package, but I don't use Ubuntu, but as far as the Flatpak goes, and if there is an Ubuntu version of it, I don't know if you'll have the same problem with Ubuntu, because Ubuntu snaps are different than Flatpaks. But obviously the Flatpak version of MKV this is the situation that I ran into, and I'm pretty sure it was an update either to the Debian operating system of Linux Mint, or Linux Mint updated something, or the Flatpak of MakeMKV got updated and changed the permissions. But anyway, at any rate, that's how you solve that problem. So this is TJ with TechMadeEZ. Hope that was helpful. Have a great day.
Now that was easy